As we mentioned, we are checking in now with our Jesse Pierre, who's been covering a first court appearance for the suspect in missing mom case. We have been covering the story of Frezja Baker for the last several days as her loved ones had been trying to find her. And unfortunately, late last week, CMPD releasing the news that she was found sadly dead. And there is somebody charged in that. Let's go ahead and check in with Jesse right now. So, Jesse, what can you tell us about what happened today in court, and just any updates in the case in general? Because it sounds like not only is there the legal process that's now playing out, but also a community that's trying to rally around the young son of this woman who, this son is now without his mom, 2 years old, and will be growing up without her.
Yes, like you mentioned, Lorenzo Inman, he was arrested on Friday, and he had his first appearance today in court. He is facing murder charge, domestic violence, assault on a woman, and during the hearing today, he learned that he will not be getting out anytime soon. He will remain in jail and was given no bond. So during the hearing today, the prosecutors kind of read through the list of the summary of the charges that he faces, and also pointed out his long criminal history in all of that, including several charges, several cases of violence against women, and other violent crimes. Now, during the hearing, we saw Inman actually shaking his head several times when those things were being read. I spoke to Baker's family, who were also in court. They were very emotional at times, and his aunt says that he was mouthing "I'm sorry" to them. They also got an opportunity to address the court, saying that he should have never been out of the street. He doesn't deserve a bond, especially because of his long criminal history that he has. And so that request was granted. Now, when we read the affidavits, we also learned a couple more things. Now, the day that she went missing on December 4th, that's when her family say she dropped off her son, and then they didn't hear back from her. They weren't able to get in contact with her. But there's also surveillance video detectives say of a gas station near the area of actually where they found her body, a gas station on La Salle near Washington Heights, where there was footage from that gas station showing Inman assaulting her, pushing her to the ground allegedly, grabbing her by the neck, and then taking a hard object from a cooler and throwing it at her back. Days later, on December 11th, like you mentioned, Vanessa, her body was found in a car in Washington Heights near a church. Now, in the affidavits, it says two different directions, but it says a witness reached out to Inman's probation officer saying that she was dead, and that he said that they got into an argument. That they got into an argument, or that that she was shot in the head, and that she was in a car.
All right, sorry about that, folks. It looks like we've got some connectivity issues there with Jesse's shot, but really just some heartbreaking details coming to light. As we sometimes will see when these court cases play out and more information and evidence is released through the course of court, some information that we hadn't previously known, from, let's just say, the arrest warrant or the narrative that's sent initially by CMPD, we'll start to learn that information. So no doubt Jesse Pierre will be having more for us on this case, not just in the throughout the rest of this day, but in coming days and weeks as we do continue to follow this case. I alluded to this before, the fact that the community has tried to rally around this family now, Frezja Baker's family, now that she has passed, and she does have a young son, 2 years old. And I know Jesse will be talking about this more. Actually, I think I see her shot. Just double check it, Carlene, if you're able to see if she'll be able to come back and kind of weigh in on the GoFundMe. But we do see a GoFundMe that's been started to support Baker's son, as he now will have to grow up without his mother. And there are a lot of questions about how to provide for his needs. So it looks like we do have Jesse's shot back. And I know, I'm sorry about that, Jesse. You were in the middle of a really interesting unveiling of details that you found out from court. So I'm trying to think where we should kind of pick up from where you froze in your shot. But essentially you found out that it sounded like Lorenzo Inman had spoken to somebody and suggested that maybe she had been shot and that she was in a car somewhere. And I think that's kind of around the spot where we lost your connection.
Exactly. So in the affidavits, it says that detectives did question a witness who actually called his probation officer initially. And they give two different stories in the affidavits. First, the witness told the probation officer that she had been shot in the head and that she was found that she was in a car, but didn't know where that car was. When the detective actually spoke to the witness directly, that witness said that um, the and I'm sorry, let me get that back. The first account was that they had an argument and that she was shot in the head. The second account, when the detective spoke with the witness, is that Inman saying that he was putting the gun away and it went off and it shot her. I'll go back through that affidavit. Unfortunately, my computer is frozen too, so I can't even look back. But either way, a witness account is what led them to more details. Just overall saying that she had been shot and that she was dead, and that is something that they say Inman told them. Again, her body was found December 11th. It was days after, well, a week, about a week later since the family had last seen her alive. Today in court, the defense attorney argued that there wasn't enough evidence to really connect him to the actual crime, and asked for a bond. Unfortunately, but that bond request was denied. And so he was given no bond. He will remain behind bars. Now, we did speak to the family after, and they're happy that at least he didn't get a bond this time. But when they look at his criminal history, they say that he should have never been out in the streets. If something could have been done beforehand, then maybe Frezja Baker could still have been alive today. Now, yes, the community, even when Frezja Baker was first announced to be missing or reported missing, a lot of people were sharing that information and really rallying behind the family to find her safe. And now there has been a GoFundMe page that has been created to support the son and his future. Like his aunt mentioned when we spoke to her, he will never get to really know his mom, outside of pictures and what he hears from family with her gone. And so that is why that GoFundMe page was created. Vanessa?
A really heartbreaking story. Jesse, I know you'll have some reporting for us later today. Can you share what time we can see your pieces and what sort of angles you'll be covering for us in those early evening newscasts?
So I will be on at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, kind of reiterating exactly what happened in court today. We'll be sharing more interview sound from the father of Frezja Baker as well as her aunt. And we will also dig in a little bit more into his criminal history for later tonight.
All right. Jesse Pierre, thank you so much for joining us here and breaking down what you've learned today. And we'll see you starting at 5 today on
Absolutely.
WCNC Plus. All right.